Good morning, class. So today we are going to be talking about how emotion from a speaker can influence the audience's understanding of this topic. If we think about situations where we are very emotional, our words that come after that have way more meaning because it's something we're passionate about. The saying, when it comes from the heart, it has more meaning, is the explanation for that alone. When a human is very passionate about something, it allows them to express their words in a way that they normally wouldn't be able to do. During Ronald Reagan's speech, the Space Shuttle Challenger, he did a very good job of expressing his emotions so that the audience was able to relate to him, but he didn't overpower it so that it looked almost fake. One thing that Ronald Reagan did very well was his body language. While he was just sitting at his desk talking about the tragedy and his emotions, he didn't act overly excited. He wasn't walking, he wasn't pointing his hands, waving around, because that sort of body language expresses anger. Versus Reagan sat at his desk, upset, and it allowed the audience to feel the same pain he was feeling. According to 6minutes.com/emotional public speaking, when you mask your emotions, you sever all connection with the audience. I really liked this because when you're speaking about something from the heart and you're not connecting with the audience, it's almost like you're a robot. Just talking and talking and talking, versus if it's something that you're passionate about, let the audience know. Let the audience feel that same passion that you are feeling. Another thing that Reagan did very well was the tone of voice in his speeches, or during his speech, The Challenger. He didn't sound overly excited, yet he didn't sound monotone either. You could feel the pain in his voice. He knew his people were hurting, and he felt for them. He was just as upset as the families of the astronauts that were killed. And I think that's why Reagan gained so much respect for this speech, because he wasn't fake. He wasn't trying to be all high and mighty, the president, saying, "Oh, I'm so sorry for your loss." You could truly tell how upset Reagan was, and that was by his body language and tone of voice. According to Ginger Public Speaking, audiences thrive on messages that sound interesting. So if you put your full belief behind your words, the audience is going to eat it up. Along with tone of voice goes facial expressions. I remember I took a public speaking class in high school, and this was my favorite example, and I will never forget it. My teacher was explaining how your facial expressions and emotions can totally alter what the audience is thinking you're talking about. So the example he used was, first he said, "I'm gonna hurt you," in a very angry, like, actually I would be scared. Then he said it as, "I'm gonna hurt you." Which one's more believable? And that really clicked to me, because I know for myself, I tend to get very nervous during public speaking. So when I'm up here, I'm like, "Hello, welcome, this is what I'm going to talk about." When that's not always the case. I'm not always speaking about something that is all happy and joyful. Like this speech itself. I'm talking about a very serious accident and about how a president handled it in a very respectful way. So I think that it's something we really need to think about, and we don't necessarily even notice it until we watch ourselves. And that is something that's extremely valuable if you want those connections with your audience. So I'm going to show you a picture. This is Ronald Reagan during his Challenger speech. Looks very solemn. And this is Ronald Reagan during his inauguration speech. There's completely different emotions wrapped up in there. First one is sad, but strong, versus the second one is determined and strong. Completely different. So as we conclude our topic of how body language and tone of voice can affect a person's speech, I encourage you all to go watch Ronald Reagan's The Challenger, because he shows great diction and power, yet strong emotion without being over dramatic about it. Thank you for listening.